what's one thing you think I should remember as I start my last year of high school?
That you're cool, and as you say, you're nonchalant. And that you're an amazing sister to these dogs and to me.
Welcome to Living in 3D Power, a space where questions matter, stories heal, and joy is our practice.
Hey, it's me, Emma. Welcome back to Living in 3D Power, and today we're talking about middle school?
School? Back to school?
Yeah.
Because what happens tomorrow?
The first day of middle school for me, and then you don't have any school.
But who else has school?
Maya,
What grade?
senior.
I know. So I just did a Substack newsletter talking about you're both having firsts. So you're just beginning, secondary school. They talk about primary or secondary. So you're starting middle school, and Maya's a senior, so she's kind of ending. So these are kind of these two bookends of secondary, because all y'all are like 6 years apart. So it's bittersweet when you think about, I was talking about on the Substack how people talk about, really cherish them when they're young, and you're still little enough, you still have like that little voice and all of those things.
What do you mean? My voice is really, it's not that high.
But I think back to JoJo when she got older, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the little chubby cheeks and all the things and how quickly you grow. It's so true. So I'm trying to cherish these years and try to be more present that you're both in these milestones. So I think it's challenging because I have y'all like so far apart, but it's also giving me time to really evolve as a mother and a woman and be like, oh, what do I hope that my girls are learning and growing and evolving into? So today I thought we could talk a little bit about that back to school. And so we're going to just jump right into it because you now have to get up. What time do you have to be at school? Like 7:28 a.m.
No, I have to be there before 7:30.
Yeah. So like I said, like school starts at like 7:28, something like that. And what time did school start last year for you?
9.
So that is so drastic. So I know there's some schools that they flip it. They have the younger kids go early and the older ones go later. So this is going to be a big adjustment. We just had a meeting today with your counselor, and he was like, oh, the first week for 6th grade, rough. They're going to be struggling until you get on this new schedule.
I'll make it through. Let's hope.
You're going to be tired.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the year. It couldn't have been 6th grade because it was COVID for Maya. But I remember calling her name, and I'm like, where is she? She's in the dining room, just passed out, knocked out sleep on the floor. So it's going to be interesting to see how you are tomorrow. I remember one year, though, you came in the door, and you took your clothes off.
And then I went, rah!
Right, I have a picture of it. So who knows what tomorrow is going to be, all the stories you're going to tell, but I'm really excited for you.
I'm gonna plop on the couch.
You're probably going to be exhausted, but it'll be so much going on. So we're going to see how it goes. So we want to make this quicker because you got to get up. We're filming this the day before, the night before. You got to get up early, and now y'all are going to be in the bathroom at the same time. That's the first.
Probably not, because Maya hogs up the bathroom.
She said Maya hogs up the bathroom. She takes her time.
Yes.
But you have 2 sinks in there. You both theoretically could be in there at the same time.
Yeah, but she doesn't let me.
We'll see how it goes tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we're going to do our 3 rounds, and you're going to start. First one, discovery.
When you were my age, what made you feel like you belonged at school or like you didn't?
Ooh. So we've talked about this several times. So, and it's funny because Graham just brought all those other yearbooks that I didn't have. So you could see how few and far between people that looked like us were in there. I actually feel like I probably had more people that look like me because they were my relatives than you do. You and Maya do, because you have, it's about 1.8%, less than 2% Black. It might be 2% now. So, and thinking about what belonging looked like to me, I think there was a very narrow view. Like, I loved science. So you talked about this today. I love science. Maya loves science. I love those things. I wanted to be in advanced science classes. And there was this exception to like, ooh, well, she's smart for a Black girl, or those kind of things. So I remember questioning that very early on, being like, what does that even mean, smart for a Black girl? So the invisible measuring stick or the rule would be, are black girls not smart? And so how am I the exception to the rule? So I remember thinking that when I was young. I don't think I had quite that language for it, but I just loved what I loved. Like I loved art. You know, we have some clay and things in here from Graham because she kept everything. So I loved art when I was young. Remember one of the questions you asked me last week, I said I had artwork hung up. So I think about those are spaces I belonged. I thought I had to belong with athletics, basketball, because my mom was a super athlete in basketball.
I'm not good at basketball.
Yeah, I was fast, but I would get the ball and then I would wait until they got to the end of the court and I would pass it because I couldn't shoot. So there was a narrative that I had to be good at basketball, but I wasn't 6'1" like my mom. So there was that. My dad and my mom both good at track. So I had this narrative that she's going to be an athlete because both her parents were super all-star athletes. And it took me so long to get control of my body. Here she goes yawning, y'all, because she's already ready for bed. And we had the same body type, no torso, all legs and big feet. So I felt like I was running like a giraffe around the track.
No, I run faster with my shoes off. Bigfoot.
Well, no, what's the movie you were talking about, the X-Men? What was his name? Who had the feet? Is that what you were talking about the other day? You said that's why I run so fast?
No, that's not what I was talking about, but that's a good point. It's if you are an X-Men fan / Marvel, you would know Beast.
Oh, Beast.
He got the feet, like those feet. He can run fast.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
That's me.
Your feet, I mean, they're big for your age, but so were mine. I don't know if they were this size at your age, at that age, but...
My feet are not even that big.
But here's the thing. So I had these narratives like she's going to be a super athlete. And I remember in middle school, 7th grade is when you can start really doing sports for school. And I remember my cousin Amy, who is so much shorter than me. So we just went, oh, you weren't there. I don't know why. So I'm sitting here thinking, when Maya was touring Drexel, we ran into our cousin Jake and his family. And so we were hanging out with them. And so Amy is really petite. She's like 5'2" at best. And she was dusting me on the track. And I remember being like, my legs are like twice as long as hers. Why can't I run? But it was me getting control of my body. And I could have let this narrative of, oh, she's a disappointment and a failure because she's not an athlete like her parents. But it wasn't until I remember cousin Penny gave me a pair of spikes when I was long jumping, and it changed everything. When I was like, oh, I needed to do it this way because my shoes were too heavy. So I think part of that was a narrative about belonging, that I was good as an athlete. I was good scholarly. So where did I fit in? I kind of had to find my way, even though they said sports, well, she doesn't have what her parents have. And then I did get there. So I didn't give up on myself, but the things that I enjoyed, I continued to do, even if people were like, do you really belong here? So I try not to let those questions deter me from what I love or what I can really hone in and get a skill for. But I also don't want those things to seem like I'm just doing it in spite of to prove you wrong. I don't ever want to live my life like that. So I'm hoping that that's not something you take, like being the underdog or being someone that you don't believe in. I'm hoping that you can be like, I do this because I love it, or because I'm up for the challenge, but not because I have to prove you wrong. Because I don't want to be against someone, like I'm going to do it in spite of you. I talked about that on the podcast for Talo Prep. I don't want to live my life in spite of. I want to be in full flow of what I'm supposed to be doing. So that was a really long way of saying, like, that's where I fit in, and then where I didn't fit in, I fit in as the singer, the dancer. Those are things that black girls are good at. But there were other things, academics, that I should not have fit in, that I said, this is a space for me too. I'm going to carve a space for myself. Make sense? She gave me the look there that was too long because she's tired. She has to get a shower. Okay. So the question I have for you is, tell me about a time at school when you felt like you really belonged. What was happening?
I think probably just like recess, like just hanging out with my friends.
So what happened? Like, give me an example.
We were just on the swings.
Nothing major?
Yeah. I was just on the swings.
What was happening? What were you talking about?
Like middle school.
So preparing for middle school, were you talking about, because you were at a moment being like, I'm really afraid of middle school. You wanted to give up the base because you were like, it's going to be so much work. You were thinking all these things. So were you expressing that to your friends on the playground? Do you remember?
I think.
And how were they responding to what you were saying? Did they agree, disagree? Did they help to comfort you and be like, it's not that serious? Or maybe it's not, don't worry about it?
They were like, well, it's okay because you could still practice it at like home and stuff.
Oh. So the question being, tell me about a time when you felt like you really belonged. How did it make you feel like you belonged when they were saying it was okay?
Because they understand.
So belonging and understanding being heard. So you share that with me, right?
Yeah.
Feeling like I can say this thing and someone understands and doesn't dismiss it. They really hold space for me. Oh, we share that. Oh, you want to fist bump me? Fine. I love that. So we're praying for more of that in middle school, that you have space where you can, not just with friends, but also with teachers and educators and faculty, that when you're saying and expressing like today, they're yawning, y'all. Today, when your counselor was saying, if you have any concerns or questions, you can come to me, right? And how your assistant principal was saying, oh, you'd be great ambassador or be in student council. But what does mom know? She reiterated what I was saying.
Nothing.
Those kind of things where you can use your voice, because it's really important for you to center people's voice and also to be heard. I think that would be great for you. So we'll see. But you can try it and see if you like it. Okay, round 2, discernment. What do you have for me?
What do you know now about belonging that you wish you knew when you were my age?
The first thing that came to mind was like, it's made up. Like someone gets to decide what belonging looks like, particularly in schools. So the cool thing today about your counselor, when he was saying in elementary school, there's so many rules and you can't, move it out of the line in the hallway. We loosen that up in middle school, right? Because we want you to be you. You might need a fidget because that's how you learn best and that's how you can pay attention. You're not allowed to use them in elementary school. So I think...
They said it was a toy.
But because some kids, right, you're still developing, maybe you don't have good control of it, but he was saying middle school is going to be different and give you more freedom because you have to learn. Yes. So I think for me, what I think about belonging was that I knew someone was creating these roles and they didn't always make sense. And so I had to understand that and also be like, for you, like I can hold it together at school sometimes. I can really pay attention, and at home I got to just let loose. So belonging was who could decide, because I could feel like I didn't belong at school, but then when I got to church or I was in a community where there were more Black and brown people, then I could truly belong. So it can also be your environment. So picking and choosing what environment you can be in, or choosing your friend groups or choosing clubs or sports where you could belong is really key. So you could be pockets of belonging. You have the overall system, and then within that system, there's little pockets where I can belong, and finding those pockets.
I'm sorry, I keep on.
Yeah, I know. All right, so what I'm going to ask you is, what do you wish adults understood about what helps kids feel like they belong?
They should be able to share their opinion.
Because your opinion, what you say, like, how does that equate to belonging?
Because if you don't share your opinion at all, then, like, can't belong.
Why not?
Because you gotta share it.
Yeah. And so think of how many people don't share it. So do you think there might be a large majority, or there's a certain pocket of students that don't feel like they belong?
Maybe, it depends.
Yeah. And so it's the school's job, it's whoever's job to see, like, who are those students that are quiet? Who are the students that aren't speaking up? That maybe we have to say, I want to hear from you too, and giving them permission and help them feel comfortable to do that. Or there's other ways. She's going to be yawning the whole time, y'all. There could be other ways that we can get, because, Maya's really quiet. So maybe she's not going to say it, but she might take a survey. She might write it down. There might be another way to get that, but it's really important for belonging. So again, I'm hearing a theme here. And you know what we missed in that first round was like one story I heard underneath your answer was. So I'm thinking about, you were talking about again, being heard. And so the story underneath that is, I don't know if there's ever a story because I feel like I've done, but there are times when I feel like you haven't felt heard. So I'm thinking when you're frustrated, that's probably where you don't feel like you belong or you're fitting or you're being honored because you're not being heard, right? So from all that I said from that first round, is there a story that you heard underneath my belonging?
Trying to remember the question.
Yeah, so I was talking about, you asked me when I was your age, what made me feel like I belonged at school or like I didn't.
I think how, like, you said that there was, like, more black and brown people in your school than mine, which is kind of crazy. Because
Wasn't a lot more.
yeah, but still, it's like candy. If there's more candy, the better.
Oh, like variety, like candy salads. You get a variety. Not everyone wants Twizzlers, but Twizzlers are awesome, but not everyone gets that. So I think that's good. So the variety does help though. I think you do have more variety in terms of AAPI, so Southeast Asian population than I did. But in terms of Black students, I think I probably had more. But it's important to be able to see yourself in students and in staff. Okay, so then we finished up round 2, and then so round 2, something you said made me curious about. So I was talking about belonging and where I could see belonging in school versus outside of school. What are you curious about with that?
How you didn't, how you belonged in, like, certain places and not, like, all places.
Yeah, and it's like, who gets to decide that?
Yeah.
And how does that feel to shapeshift or be like, oh, I belong here, and now, oh, I don't belong here? And how do you navigate that when you're still growing and becoming? And then for you, something you said made me curious about the listening part again. Like, that's very true to you. And you're saying if you're not sharing, then you don't, and maybe you're not sharing because you don't feel like you belong, right? I don't feel safe enough to share. So how do we create safety in school so that people feel safe enough to actually share? And I work with students like that, right? So students will say, I don't share because they don't listen. And so that's a form of silencing, right? Like, I'm telling you the truth about my experience and you're saying, you're being too sensitive. I'm less likely to share. I don't trust you. So how do we do more of that so students belong? I think that's really what I get curious about all the time. How do I continue to navigate that? Okay, final round. Devotion.
Oh, what is something about yourself you wish you had protected more when you were my age?
Curiosity, but also creativity. I feel like I stopped, and I don't remember why I stopped in art. Ooh, okay, so I feel like I didn't take art at all in high school. So, I had all these art pieces. Everyone was like, she's an artist, all these things. And then I think when I got to high school, I feel like I had to choose. So right now, Maya is on this journey of being like, I love art, and I also love science, and I feel like I had to choose. And so that's just coming to me now. I don't think I ever took an art class in high school because I chose science, thinking I had to choose one thing. Because how can you be artistic and also analytical? But it's possible. And Maya, I'm so proud of her because she's like, I don't have to choose one. I can pick both. So I think that I wish I had protected that creativity more. It comes out in other ways, but I didn't protect the craft of my illustration. Not like yawning into the mic. Like, girl, it is, mind you, only 7:13. Okay. What is something about yourself you want to make sure you don't lose as you get older?
Me. My personality. My silly, goofy side.
So that child, like, awe and wonder, you never want to lose that. You don't want to become a robot. That's not the vibe you're going for. But I love that it was so simple. It's like, I don't want to lose me, the essence of who I am, and how many people in this world are losing themselves. That's good, Emma. It's something sometimes so simple, but it's so profound. Like, I don't want to lose me. And so many people are trying to come back to themselves, and you're already at 11 saying, I don't want to lose me. Okay, so we're going to go to our witnessing piece of this. So, Emma, you're going to start.
Something I heard you say that I want to remember is that you didn't feel like you belonged in certain spaces, and how no one should feel like that.
And then something special I saw in you today that you bring to our family community is, I think, your desire to be heard and to hear other people, and how you connect that to belonging. I think that's something that people miss throughout life, and you're seeing that at an early age, and that is really, really special to see that at 11. Okay, something I heard you say that I want to remember is that you don't want to lose you. It was so simple, but so profound. Like, you don't want to lose you. So what do I do to make sure that you can stay, which is a theme song, right? Like your song. So what do we do to make sure that you don't lose yourself? And how do you know when maybe because you're going to middle school that you might start veering off the path of your truth and not being authentically you because you're trying to belong and fit in? How do you say, that actually doesn't align with me and I'm cool with that? I don't have to be someone else. I can stay true to myself, because you're saying in front of everyone, I don't want to lose me. And in middle school, you can start that can get fuzzy. So you're saying right now, I want to stay true to me and honor that. I think that's an awesome way to go into the school year.
Something special I saw in you today that you bring to our family/community is just speaking the truth. And that's it.
You got to tell the truth. Sometimes you got to say the thing that no one wants to say that everyone's thinking. Compassionate curiosity. You have that in you. I'm proud of you for that. Okay, so instead of closing out with your chicken nugget wisdom, we're going to have a little mini segment with whom.
Slide to Maya.
Let's see if you can get some more words out of her this episode. So senior to middle schooler, sixth grade, 6 years apart. You're going to have a brief exchange.
It's because
in
12
chicken nugget.
minus 6 is 6.
6 years apart.
Math.
So I'll see y'all next week why my two girls have a conversation about middle school and senior year.
Now time for the chicken nugget wisdom with Maya and the dogs. What's one thing you wish you knew when you started middle school that you know now?
Don't be afraid to talk to people and make friends with the right people, because you're going to be stuck with these people until high school.
So, like, what do you mean by that? Like, find, like, other, like
find your group of people so you're not like with the wrong people, so you know where you are in high school.
How'd you find your group of friends?
I was introduced to my now friends by some older friends, so we already had some similarities, and now we're still friends to this day.
Have you made, like, any newer friends?
Yes, I've made some in high school.
In your friend group, do you have, like, a bunch of friends, or is it just, like, a small group of friends?
Like a smaller group. Because I feel like having too many friends can get a little crazy.
Let's switch.
What's one thing you think I should remember as I start my last year of high school?
That you're cool, and as you say, you're nonchalant. And that you're an amazing sister to these dogs and to me. I know this summer you've been looking at like colleges and stuff. Which one's like your favorite so far?
I guess I like Carnegie Mellon University, but I'm still looking.
What other colleges are you looking at?
I'm gonna look at RIT this fall.
Well, that's it. And Kiva left, as you can see. But I hope you like this episode. And we will see you later. Bye. I'm so glad you joined me and Mommy for this episode of Living in 3D Power. I hope you like it. Now do me a favor before you leave. Subscribe to our Substack and make sure you subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts too. And hey, do me another favor. Share this episode with a friend or family member. If something we said made you laugh, made you smile, or it might mean something to them, just send it away. Okay, one more favor. That's a lot of favors, I know. Head over to the comments on our social media. Tell us what made you say, "That's deep, bro." Because your words encourage other people and they encourage us too. See you next time.